Hello and welcome to another video. I'm here with my former colleague Neil. Neil, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Neil. I'm from China and I like a lot of cooking and especially Asian food. And I love Uncle Roger. And today we're gonna make some Chinese dumplings.
So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and go over the ingredients and begin the preparation.
Let's start preparing the dough.
Okay, and in the dough it's flour and is there salt added or is it just flour and water?
A little bit salt, 1 pinch of salt, not too much. So today I have prepared like 1 kilogram meat and so probably like 1 kilogram flour as well.
Okay.
Yeah, let's put all in. And then just a little bit of salt. It doesn't have to be too much.
Okay.
That might be too much. Right. Okay, then water. Well, I never measured. Because as Uncle Roger said, like Asian people use feelings. So
Yeah.
We never like little gram, like 9 gram, 10 gram, I don't know. Just put water in. If it's too wet, then add more flour. If it's too dry, add a little bit more water. That is easy. So you don't have to add water at one time. You just like mix it well until you feel like okay, then it's almost ready. So for now, you can see it's definitely too dry. So because there's still a lot of powders, they are not mixing. I would just add more water.
And this uses you use just room temperature water. This case,
Just
right?
room temperature. If you want to make things like, for instance, Japanese gyoza style, then you need a little bit warm water. For fried, because the dough will be softer if you use like temperature for as like 60-70 degree. But for this one, if you boil the dumpling, we just use the normal room temperature water.
All right. And so in this case, we'll go ahead and come back once the dough's kind of somewhat formed.
So we're gonna knead the dough. You don't have to knead it once. Just try to make it like roughly well, and then let it rest a little bit.
Yeah, and when it rests, it will get softer, right?
It will get softer, get smoother, and then you knead it again. Sometimes, like in some videos, you might see, okay, you knead it until it's get really smooth, but that's a lot of effort. You can also use like kitchen aids to knead it, but I prefer to knead it per hand. You don't have to knead it at once. Normally like that.
Yes, nice.
Should be good for the first kneading.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
Just very slightly sticky, very rubbery.
It's a little bit soft, I would say. Might be okay. We will see later. So let's
All right.
wrap it or like cover it, and then we'll come back later.
All right, sounds good.
So now we can use the waiting time to prepare the filling. Today I'm gonna use like a 2 pack of minced pork meat.
And that comes up to be a kilogram, right?
500 gram.
500 grams.
So in total is 1 kilogram. Yes. So meat in. And then I will put spices in there.
And which spices will we be using?
First of all, of course, salt. You don't want to miss that. For this, normally I put 1 tablespoon of salt for each pack. So for this, that means like 1.5 tablespoon or 2 tablespoon of salt. So, and then of course the ingredient you're not gonna miss for Asian food, soy sauce.
Of course.
I will put like 2 tablespoons for this, maybe 3.
Okay.
Just use the fillings, never measure.
Yeah, when I cook Asian food, I tend to cook that way.
Yeah, yeah. And also ginger powder. You can also use like fresh ginger if you want, but I'm so lazy to chop them. Normally I just use some, maybe 1 tablespoon. How much is it?
Yeah, I think if you were to use fresh, it would almost be better to like grind it into a paste
Yeah, yeah.
for this.
And that is oyster sauce. It's similar to soy sauce, but thicker.
Did you say it was oyster sauce or hoisin sauce?
What did they say? I couldn't-
Oyster sauce, okay.
Oyster sauce, yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit Chinese cooking wine. You don't have to put it in if you don't have it.
The Li Kung K seems like a very, very preferred brand of the oyster sauce.
Yeah, yeah. This is because this is almost the only one I can find in here. It's also not bad. No, that's the only one I buy. Pepper. I forgot to buy white pepper, so I just like have the mixed one. Put it in. Also, a chicken powder.
Yeah.
And that's, you can buy it also in Asian market or like a normal market. You can use the one for chicken soup. Similar stuff.
The instant chicken broth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, very important, MSG.
Of course.
Like MSG is the soul of Asian food.
So interestingly enough, the instant chicken broth that I can get at Kaufland, the first ingredient is MSG. So maybe one can.
Another secret stuff. I don't know if you can see it. It's called natron.
Yeah.
It will make the meat softer.
Yeah, we call it in English baking soda.
Baking soda. It's not baking soda. I think baking soda is also kind of a little different.
Well, they also have baking powder, which is different.
Okay.
Baking powder is a mixture of that stuff and an acid to make it bubble up when you add water.
But anyway, when I prepare meat, I always use that. That's no matter what kind of meat, like beef or pork, even like sliced. That's why you in Asian restaurant or in Asian in-base, you always find why the meat is so soft.
Yeah.
Right? So use that.
Nice.
Or even upgraded version, which you cannot easily buy in the supermarket.
They like the stronger base. I will share with you a quick tip if you need to make something stronger.
Oh, okay.
Take that, put it in the oven at 150 for an hour.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then it's strong enough to make ramen noodles out of.
Cool. Then I also gonna add a little bit water to make it more juicy. While mixing, I will keep adding water until I feel the texture is good enough.
Okay.
Also, if there's not enough fat in the meat, then you can also add a little bit of oil.
Okay.
Everything should be there. Then I will put that in the. I will let the mixer to work it on it.
And how long will this take on the mixer? Or?
You will see the texture change. Right now, you can see the meats are basically separated.
Okay.
Until you can see the texture becomes like sticky together, and that should be fine.
So once it sticks together, and then I'll probably, maybe I can find a way of showing that when that happens.
Okay, sure. And as I already talked about, I will keep adding water into it to make it more juicy.
All right. So I will. Then we'll come back on the next clip when it's more or less ready, and then we can show people. So then this is close to the right consistency, then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's falling off of the central
Yeah.
mixing paddle.
Yeah. You can see the meat is also a little bit bouncy, right?
Yeah.
It's like.
All right. Okay. Looking quite good. All right.
Yeah. You can put a little bit sesame oil, like to have more flavor.
Yeah. Here we are.
While we're waiting, we can chop a little bit garbage.
Okay. That looks more than a little bit, but
Yeah. Maybe before that, let me knead the dough once more.
okay.
Let's go in the inside camera.
Right.
Now you can see it's softer,
Yeah.
right? Smoother.
Definitely softer, definitely smoother.
Just need time. Some of the foods actually need even longer time to rest. Let's say, have you ever made like a biang biang style noodle?
No.
That's basically like the pool noodle.
Oh, those, yeah.
You.
That's it. I've seen them called something like la mian, I think.
That the ramen is different.
Well, the la mian.
The ramen I
those are
tried
different.
multiple times. I fail.
Okay.
I fail all the time. That's one is even harder. The biang biang style is like small piece. You just need to pour once, and it becomes like that.
Oh.
Like a bright like and then you pour it once and put it in there.
Oh, okay.
It's much easier than the one all the time. I tried many times and no, none of them succeed.
Oh, okay.
You can see the dough is much smoother than before.
Yeah, and it's not as sticky. It's
Yeah,
it's very rubbery.
yeah. So that's the one we need. We let it rest again, and then knead again one more time, and it's ready.
All right.
Okay, now carve it. Get a Chinese knife.
Yes.
It's much easier to. A second, yeah. This aside. Remove the root part. I don't like them.
Okay.
So, okay, you don't have to do it all at once. Just half of them first. First vertical a little bit.
So you do the vertical first, and then it's this very fine
Yeah.
shredding.
The finer you can get, the better. I mean, normally I'm lazy a little bit, and then just do once vertical, once horizontal, and that's it. But sometimes, like my parents just use a knife to chop it afterward a little bit. Just like randomly like that, you know.
Yeah.
You can also do that a little bit to make it finer.
Yeah, the kind of knife makes a big difference. When I was in Indonesia this summer, I got a Balinese chef knife, and boy, did that make a difference. That was.
Put it aside.
And then we'll repeat on the other side, right?
We repeat on another.
Okay.
You can also put a little bit salt inside.
Okay.
So that's to remove a little bit water out of it.
Ah, okay.
Otherwise it might be too dry.
Right.
So then do the other half the same.
Okay. So then we'll be back after all this is shredded.
Okay. After that, we want to put some spring onion as well. One trick of chop it really fine is also first vertically. Just give it a little bit slice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other.
And you use both the white and green parts, right?
Sorry?
You use both the white and green parts of the spring onion.
Both of them. But some people don't like spring onion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to put it.
Right.
The real mandatory ingredient in all the here is just like the meat, the salt,
Yeah.
and some vegetables. You can also put some other kind of vegetables. I don't know, but normally I just make a Chinese cabbage.
Okay.
You can also put bean in there.
Right.
I normally don't like it. You can also use minced beef, but I don't like it. Normally I just use pork.
And just out of curiosity, that knife is asymmetric, right? So it's a definitely right-handed knife. Is that correct?
I think it's as symmetric. Doesn't really matter. They look
Yeah, it's thin enough. You could probably use it in each hand, but.
I don't see difference on left and right side. See? There.
I see it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's asymmetric.
Yeah.
It's definitely right-handed. Well, I mean, you want the side you have facing me on the side where you're done chopping, because the wedge is going to peel the stuff away on that direction.
Ah, okay.
If you were to try to do it on the other hand, then it would shave at an angle.
Okay. I didn't know that. There are some professional knives, I guess.
Well, I mean, a lot of Asian knives are that way. My Balinese chef knife is that way, but it's a much thicker knife, so it matters a lot more, and I'm left-handed.
Okay. Okay. So we mix them and squeeze a little bit. Separate a little bit. Then we can put it in the meat, I guess.
So now we add this there, and we will mix it again in the stand mixer? Or?
Yeah.
Alright. You can see how much of that liquid is still draining out.
Yeah. If you use your hand to mix the meat, then A lot of times you will see that actually a lot of water come out of the porridge, and it's not good. It's hard for the wrapping part.
Ah, okay.
It will be really painful to wrap the fillings with too much water.
Alright.
But with mixer, I've never seen a problem like that. So you can, with a mixer, the meat absorb much more water than.
Okay. And we'll just mix it until everything's nicely integrated, right? Or does it need to go longer, or?
No, you don't have to mix it that long. It just like kind of mix together, then it's fine.
Okay.
We'll scramble the side a little bit
Yeah.
to make sure all mix well.
I suppose if you don't have a stand mixer, it would work with a hand mixer with the right attachments.
Yeah. I guess you can do that. I've never tried. Alright, that should be enough, I guess.
Alright.
But a hand mixer might be too fast. I don't know how fine your hand mixer can be adjusted. Definitely we don't want it like super fast.
Right. So I can smell that already. It's smelling really, really nice.
Actually, most of the smell comes from the sesame oil we added
Yeah.
in the end. So
And
it's
also the
really-
ginger. So
Now we need the dough last time.
yeah, and it's on a, and
It's
then
soft and smooth. Then we're gonna roll it and wrap it. Okay. We'll check how smooth it's right now.
ooh, wow.
Yeah. It's not so hard, not so soft.
Yeah.
Not sticky at all.
Yeah.
That's the perfect shape. Alrighty, now let's roll it. Each time just a little bit so that the rest won't dry out.
Right, and it's about a good sized handful is what I see.
I normally use that size. First, roll it to.
So we roll it into a cylinder.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't have to be really perfect. I use this little tool to.
Yeah, I guess another thing I need to add to my
Yeah. That's really cheap one.
yeah.
So you make it, you turn and you cut. So roughly, I don't know how many gram it is. We can measure.
But they look like they're roughly every centimeter or so.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's about 2 centimeters in diameter.
We can
Cylinder.
weigh it to see how many gram it is. Each dough, I would guess like 15 to 20. No, 12. What the other one? 12.
Very consistent.
That's pretty good consistency, right?
Yep.
And yeah, the size actually doesn't really matter. If you want bigger one, make a bigger one. If you want small one, make a small one.
And so
Then-
I see you turning it as you
Right.
roll it to try to get that nice round
Yeah.
shape.
I don't make it quite perfect. Like my father can make it really roundish. I still need practice on that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Then you put the filling in the center, and I will teach you a trick for wrapping it. Sometimes you see some videos that do this magic, but for me it's really easy. Put it in the middle, on the side, and then in the quarter middle, how do you call it? And then you put them together. That's it.
Nice.
That's one. Today we're gonna fry half and then boil half.
Okay.
So you can try both.
Sure.
For the fried one, I would like add a little bit oil. And just
So you
Put it
so you oil them and then put them aside on
Yeah.
the fine side. Okay. Right.
if you want it more round, you can just like do this.
And then as you basically, it looks like you roll just past the halfway point. Is that right? Or
Yeah, just half the way and then we rotate. You can also do this if you are not like feel comfortable with this kind of rolling.
okay.
Doesn't really matter. Find your own way.
Right. All right.
That might be a little bit too much.
So
Like
it's-
this.
Yeah, so-
and then this. You want to try it?
yeah, I would.
Yep.
Nice. So what we do is try to make it a little bit rounder and then smash it,
Yeah.
right?
If it's too sticky, with flour.
And then,
You are left-handed?
yes, I'm left-handed, and unfortunately the lighting is going to make
Yeah,
it a little
you
bit
hold
difficult.
this.
So,
Yeah, that was right. So you hold like that, roll
okay.
it, turn, roll it.
Okay. So like,
Yeah, like that. Put your palm. You use
palm.
the weight here. Right, turn, roll it. Some good roller or people can really just with 3 roll, then it's done really fast. Yeah, but I still need practice on that. Right, roughly like that.
and I'm just going to do this once or twice just to even it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes out really nice and thin. It's quite a nice dough to work with.
Yeah.
And then it's just
Maybe you not use the side with too much flour, but on
Okay.
this side so that you can
Okay.
they stick together better. Just put it on your hand.
all right. And then take something with the chopsticks out.
Or you can. I have another tool.
Well,
Pretty easy.
it's fine. It's just the hand the laterality is the fun part, being left-handed.
And just push them into the center. Better not put it on the edge because otherwise it won't stick. For fried one it's okay, but for boiled one, if you are not seal them good enough, then everything will
Yeah.
come out.
then
Just
take it
put it in the middle,
like this, and then it's like
like a
this,
corner.
right?
Yeah,
And then this, right?
yeah.
And then
Just use your
Yes.
two finger to
this. Looks like
meet in the middle
It's a
enough,
little bit here.
good enough.
yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You
So
can just hold it and then shake with it a little bit.
nice.
Don't need to use too much force. It
Okay.
won't fall down. Just a little thing and just shake it.
Nice. All right, then I guess we'll be back after we roll more of these. So we'll fry half of them and boil half of them or so. Yeah. And
Maybe not half. But
Right, right. And so for the fried ones, we basically have a bit of oil in the bottom of the pan,
Yeah.
and we start off with everything cold and we just heat it up.
Yeah.
And for the boiled ones, we heat up the water first, and then
Yeah. Until
Once it's boiling.
boiled.
okay. Do we need to add any salt to the water, or it's just without water?
Yeah. For the fried one, I'm gonna add a little bit flour
Okay.
in a bowl. And mostly half flour, half starch,
Okay.
kind of, and add water in it.
Okay. And then that's to make a thick sauce afterwards, or?
That's not sauce. That's gonna be, we'll put that in the fried one, so that's at the bottom it has this really crispy
Ah.
part of it. They
Okay.
all combine together. You know, that's the secret for that. Maybe a little salt inside there as well.
Okay. And for the boiled ones, it's just water, no salt.
Just water. You can put a little salt inside, but
Okay.
normally I don't.
And so they're fried with the lid on.
We will cover it first, put it on first, and then when we add water first, just leave it on it, and then later we will open it up so
Okay.
that all the steam got evaporated
Nice.
and becomes crispy. But now you can see it started sizzling. So this is the time.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it started
Yep.
sizzling, just put this mixture of starch and flour inside it until it's like almost half of,
Okay.
like a little bit more than half of it, and then just cook it with the highest heat
Okay.
until there are little amount of water still left.
Okay. That's interesting. That's a different cooking technique than I would have expected. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you just fry it, then it will take quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's already burned outside but still raw inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way how to cook the fried. It's not fully fried.
Mm-hmm.
It's just half fried. Another way of doing it is you can boil it first,
And then fry.
and then with a lot of oil to fry
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's another way.
Yeah. So then this will take, do you know approximately how long?
10-15 minutes, I guess.
All right.
Won't take too long.
All right. So we'll be back then as this develops.
Okay. Now roughly this time is the time to Open it up
Okay.
and also turn down the heat a little bit. Shake it a little bit. It's a non-sticky pan, so it's very easy to shake.
Yeah.
So make sure you use non-stick pan here, otherwise everything will get sticky there. Now everything should be cooked now, and just the time to wait until all the waters are gone and you get this crispy layer.
Nice.
The water is boiled, so cooked one. We just simply put the thing in.
And we just basically drop them in a few at a time.
And move a little bit so that they don't stick in.
Right. Otherwise they can sink to the bottom and stick to the bottom of the pan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put them, drop them in one by one. Cover it. Shake that a little bit more.
And that's
On the side as well.
so the kiss just drizzle all around the edges.
Yeah.
Which is this?
Put some sesame.
Ah, sesame seeds.
Sesame. Okay. I think it's ready. Here the bottom is scratching and here the sound is crispy sound. Right?
Yep.
Put the pan in there. Turn it over quickly. Nice crispy fried dumpling.
Nice.
They said that you can add a little bit cold water, wait until it's boiled again. You can do that. But normally, I'll just wait. Open the lid, wait a little bit.
Like a minute or two or something like that.
Yeah, a minute or two. Until I see especially like this one. Looks like that is like a big ball.
Oh, nice.
That will start to grow and then it's ready. If you see something like if you see the skin is still kind of sticky to the filling, then that's my wait one or 2 more minutes.
Okay. Grab it.
Okay, so for the sauce part, normally we put just vinegar.
And that's
Can
a black
put
vinegar, right?
Soy sauce, right?
That's a black vinegar, right?
Yeah, black vinegar. White vinegar, not the Italian one.
Right.
um, and if you want, you can put some homemade chili oil.
Ooh.
That's fried by myself. There are a lot of recipe on YouTube to how to do that in a proper way.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. And if you want to put soy sauce, go ahead. There's no strict rule you can't put it or not.
I think they're going to be absolutely delicious.
Okay.